Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of The Dog Pound. I just had a latte, so I'm hyped up on caffeine, so this episode should be interesting. Let's get started. First up, the Apple versus Samsung trial is finally underway. You'll remember this is involving a couple of patents and also some trade dress claims. The trial has started, jury selection is done, they've all made their opening statements, and there's already some drama. Samsung wanted to submit a couple of pieces of evidence that were really important to their case, one of them dealing with a Samsung device that was in development long before the iPhone was announced, and another was some emails between Apple employees discussing making a Sony-style phone. So you can kind of see how those two pieces of evidence would be important to their case. However, they submitted these pieces of evidence too late, and so they were not allowed to include them in the trial. Well, they weren't happy with that, and so one of the lawyers released this evidence to the public. Now, of course, the judge was extremely upset about this. Apple was extremely upset about this and demanded that the judge rule in favor of Apple, effectively ending the trial there and then. Of course, the judge denied this request, and the trial will continue as normal. We'll have to see if this affects Samsung's case going forward. Now, one of the cool things about this case is that we're getting to see a lot of things that we wouldn't see otherwise, and included in that are some prototypes of the original iPhone. Whenever Apple was designing it, they went through tons of prototypes, and these court documents kind of give us an idea of some of these prototypes that they went through. You can see some of them actually kind of look like later models of the iPhone. Some of them look horrible, and I'm totally glad they did not use them. But it's kind of just cool to see where they came from and how they decided which one to eventually use. But those are old prototypes of the iPhone. What we're mostly interested in today is the new iPhone, the next one. What is the iPhone 5 going to look like? Well, we have another leak of the front panel, including the touch panel. And from this, we can see, for one thing, that the front-facing camera position has changed a little bit, the arrangement of that and the proximity sensor. But mostly it shows us that it will have a larger touchscreen. We've seen this before, we've heard it before, but it's kind of just nice to see, other evidence, new evidence of that. We heard that the touch screen could be wider than the previous model, but this shows us that it's going to be the same width, but it will just be taller. So we've heard in the past 4 inches, possibly 4.3, 4.5. We'll have to wait till it comes out to know for sure, but this is just one more piece of evidence to pile on everything else that kind of confirms that it will have a larger display. So let's move on to some Android news, specifically some Samsung news. There's 2 Samsung events coming up, so get ready to mark your calendars. The Samsung Mobile Unpacked event is taking place August 29th in Berlin. A Samsung spokesperson has told us that we should expect the Galaxy Note at this event. Now, they didn't specify Galaxy Note 2, the phone, or the Galaxy Note 10.1, the tablet, but we're going to see some sort of Note at this event on August 29th. Now, there's another event happening before that, also by Samsung, that's going to be on August 15th. And we're hearing that we could see the Galaxy Note 10.1, the tablet, at this event. So does that mean that the August 29th event will be where we see the Galaxy Note 2? Probably, but we're not entirely sure. Now, if you don't know a lot about the Galaxy Note 2, Samsung has released a video, so definitely check that out. It shows off a lot of the cool features, specifically with that S Pen, and honestly, it's pretty awesome. If you ever saw videos of the Microsoft Courier, which was kind of a prototype device that never actually got released, that device was awesome and everyone wanted it. The Galaxy Note 10.1 is probably the closest device that we have right now, and some of the functionality with this S Pen and the multitasking that you can do, it's totally like off the chisel, and you have to watch this video. Now, as far as specs go, the Galaxy Note 10.1 will obviously have a 10.1-inch display, HD resolution, it'll have a quad-core processor, S Pen functionality, of course, and it'll ship with Android 4.0 with TouchWiz. Now, the first few models will be Wi-Fi only, but later on in the year, Samsung will release LTE models. Now, of course, we will have constant updates on what we expect to see or what we are seeing at these 2 events, so keep it on phonedog.com as we keep you guys updated on that. Now, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about a phone called the HTC Era 42, and then we heard that that phone was actually going to be called the HTC One X Plus whenever it came to market. We have a couple of more details about that phone. It recently showed up in a benchmarking test site, And this test confirms that it will have a 1.7 gigahertz Tegra 3 processor and an HD display. Again, the interesting thing about this is that Tegra 3 processor is a quad-core processor, and if it comes to the US, which is what it's expected to do, it'll be the first and only phone with a quad-core processor in the US. Now, we're hearing that it could be coming to AT&T. We also heard that it could be coming to T-Mobile. We'll have to wait and see, but so far, this phone could easily be the best phone in the US whenever it finally gets here. We heard that a release date could be set for September, possibly September 26th. We'll let you know if we hear any more information about this. In other news, we also got some information about another leaked device, the Sony Xperia XL. Now, in pretty much every respect, this phone is basically the Sony Xperia S, but it has some minor improvements. For one, the processor has been bumped up to a 1.7 gigahertz dual-core processor, and it will come in two different colors, silver and pink. Now, as far as everything else, it'll have the same 4.3-inch HD display, a 12-megapixel camera. Everything else will be the same as the Xperia S, but it'll just have that improved processor in two new colors, and that's the Xperia SL. Tons of pictures have been released, so check out those on the sites in this article, and let me know what you think about this. Is that processor bump, is that enough to upgrade over the Xperia S, or is this just another gimmick, another phone to release? Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Okay, so Apple, check. Android, check. Windows Phone. If any of you guys are eagerly anticipating some Nokia Windows Phone 8 phones, then keep your eyes open next month, because that's when we're hearing that Nokia could be introducing some new Windows Phone 8 phones. Now, if you want some specific dates, mark your calendars for September 5th and 6th. That's when Nokia World is taking place, and that's when we're hearing that these phones could be announced. Now, we don't have any specific details on any phones really, so we don't really know what to expect. We don't even know if they are actually going to announce any new Windows Phone 8 devices. But if they are, that would be the place to do it. So definitely keep your eyes on PhoneDog. We'll let you know if we hear anything else about that. So that's the news, and that is the show. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and check out the description below the YouTube video, because I will have links to all of the articles that I talked about. But other than that, I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Jury selection is done. They've had their opening whatever credits. Yes, opening credits. Wonderful, Sydney. Like it's a freaking movie. I feel like I'm yelling. Am I yelling? Now, one of the cool things about this case is that one of the cool and there's also some, what am I trying to say? Phones! There's iPhone prototypes. Part of some of that, included in that. I need a drink. Now, one of the cool things about this case, I can't even get the first sentence out. This is amazing. This is so awesome. Okay. Come on, Sydney. And the Irish guy wins the joke. As far as specs go, the Galaxy Note 10.1 will have, I don't even know, okay. And it will come in two different covers. Yeah, it'll come in two different covers. And you have to take them out of the cover. It'll be like, ooh, it's a cover. Okay. If any of you guys out there are eagerly anticipating some Nokia Windows Phone, Windows Phone, yeah. You want some Windows Phone? Oh, that was racist. Now, if you want some specific dates, mark your calendars for November. Yes, next month is November. Exactly, Sydney. Good job. You're a moron. Okay. Be sure to check out the description below the YouTube video, because I will have links to all of the articles that I talked about. Maybe the caffeine was a bad idea.